What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more electronic. Once again, big thank you to Chris and also to Erik, both of whom have provided electronic material, as well as Han Solo, who provided the first couple albums that we went through. But yes, we're still going through Twisted Tenderness, 1999, and the next track is Prodigal Son, which of course relates to the biblical narrative. I think it's technically a parable. Strictly speaking, prodigal means wasteful, extravagant, luxurious to the point of excess. And in that regard, the story, I think, is largely interpreted as a story of redemption, someone going off to be extravagant, wasteful, maybe even greedy, avaricious, and then in the end redeeming themselves through merit, morality, and a desire to come back into the fold, if you will. Although, again, I think there are different interpretations of the parable. Nevertheless, I don't know really what I expect here. I doubt it would be essentially a retelling of that story. To the degree I would expect it to relate to the scriptural passages, maybe adapted into a more modern story, or used as an example or a paradigm for characters maybe that are specific to this story. Although, of course, those could be, built out of real life, autobiographical, what have you. Nevertheless, it certainly gives us a sense of a character arc. So yeah, I'll see what I can pick up on a first listen, but this is electronic. The song is Prodigal Son, and it's from their 1999 album Twisted Tenderness. outro. It was very hypnotizing, mesmerizing, disorienting. I mean, even the vocals throughout the track had this echoic or somehow like in the distance or placed behind an electric screen type of sound, which I did enjoy. Almost like the megaphone, like that effect where it sounds like someone's singing through a megaphone, how it sort of like flattens and yet electrifies the voice at the same time. And yeah, like once it started, I was thinking, well, the idea of the prodigal son, like on one level, is that it's a bit presumptuous, right? You go off and you do all these things, and then you come back when I think his father's dying. The idea that he's going to get his half of the inheritance or whatever. It's like, oh, who do you think you are? I think maybe there's a bit of that here, because at the start it was like, you something about like, in your mind it makes perfect sense or whatever. In my mind, you're deluded, essentially seemed to be the thought. So yeah, again, I feel like maybe there's more of the negative connotations of that parable and the phrase, the prodigal son has returned. Oh, now you come back when, father's dying, that type of thing. Now, again, I think it's divorced of the specific, like, narrative context of the parable as far as I can tell. But it does seem like the lead singer, well, yes, but the narrator of the song has at least a critical view of the person being addressed, who I think is the prodigal son. But yes, there is that phrase, like, coming home or coming back. So in that sense, kind of going out and doing your thing and then trying to circle back, and what will people's attitudes be about that? And on some level, is it still justified, even if it is, again, maybe a bit presumptuous, relative to someone, the other son in the story who stayed and, was not, going out and being wasteful and so on. So, yeah, I don't quite know how to read the lyrics. I didn't catch them all. But I enjoy the sonics. It, like, in one sense, it, like, had a bit of this, like, trip-hop sort of vibe to it. It felt a bit alternative, like, late 90s alternative, which, it sound like that's the era it's from, so that would not be surprising. But definitely, I got a feel for that. And, again, notably different from the stuff earlier in the decade, which was more like electronic dance floor. So yes, definitely an edgier and more alternative sound here. And again, I enjoyed the vocals. Not only just do I think the vocals are good more generally, but I enjoy the treatment they had on this one. So yeah, definitely some cool sonics in there. There's, like guitar is definitely a major part of it, but there's like a big soundscape to it as well. There's like a lot of space and volume in the soundscape of the track. So yeah, like it eventually it got like a bit faster than I would normally think for the group I'm about to make a comparison to. But the more like down tempo and spacious parts of it reminded me of like a Massive Attack tune or something like that. So either way, it was a cool track. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Peace.